Good morning, friends, and welcome to Ultravision Academy, Standard 12 Science English Medium, subject Computer, chapter number 6. So, as we have completed 2 lectures in this chapter, so in the previous lecture, we have seen visibility options. You know very well there are 4 visibility options. They are private, protected, public and package. And package is the default visibility. Then we also saw encapsulation. Encapsulation, it means wrapping data and functions into a single unit known as object. Then we discussed about data abstraction also. Data abstraction, it means hiding the complexity of a function. It means the work is performed, but how it is performed, that is hidden. And polymorphism means many forms. There are 2 polymorphisms. One is method overloading and another is operator overloading that we have seen in the previous video lecture. Now we have to see aggregation and composition. So let's discuss about this. When objects of one class are composed of objects of other class, it is called aggregation or composition. We have to see what is the difference between aggregation or composition also. So here, when object of one class is composed of object of other, then it is known as aggregation, or you can say composition. It represents has a or a part of relationship between classes. Remember, this is very popular. It can be asked in examination also. Aggregation and composition contains which type of relationship? It is known as has a or a part of relationship. It means one class is made up of another class. To understand this, let us take the previous example of person class. So as we have seen previously, person class is there. So previously we have created one class that is known as person, name, string, city, string, gender, character map, character m, birth date, profession, string, and few functions are there. Now we can do some modifications in this. So using aggregation or composition, we can create a class in this way. So say suppose person, nm colon name and addr colon address. Well, other options are similar. So these 2 are different, nm colon name and addr colon address. See, in the previous example, name colon string was there. So string is a data type and name is attribute. But here nm is attribute and name is data type. Same way addr is attribute and address address is data type. Actually in Java no such data type is available, but we can create another class that is address. We can create a class that is name. So in name class you can see first name, middle name and last name. 3 attributes are given, that is of string type, and that is used in person class as a data type. Same way address class is given. So here you can see house colon string, street colon string, all the attributes are given, and here addr colon address is given. It means address address is considered as data type, like data type here. So when we give nm colon name, the nm attribute automatically gets first name, middle name and last name, all these 3 attributes. Same way regarding address. So here While creating person class, we have used name and address. So name and address is used as a part in person class. So this is known as aggregation or composition. See, two new classes, name and address, are created first. Object of person class are composed of object of name and address class. Aggregation versus composition. Let's see the difference between these two. Aggregation represents non-exclusive relationship between two classes. It means independent. In aggregation, the class that forms part of the owner class can exist independently. So let's take an example. Suppose P1 person is there. This is object. This is object related to person class. Another is P2 object that is also related to person class. But we have used other classes to form the part of person class. So address is there and another name is there, name class. So here you can see for address class there is one single address object that is connected to P1 and P2 both. So both P1 and P2 share same address, but here in name it is not so. There are two different objects of name class, N1 and N2. So P1 is connected to N1 and P2 is connected to N2. Here, sorry, it will come N2, another object. So you can see for each and every person, names are different, but address can be same. This is how aggregation and composition works that we have to see. So here we can say that the relationship between address and person class is non-exclusive. It means if we remove person 1 P1, then it will not remove address because address is also shared by P2. But here if you want to establish relationship, then N1 in between N1 and P1 we can establish composition relationship. It means if we remove P1, then it should remove N1 also. Let's have an example again. So aggregation is non-exclusive relationship between two classes. It means both classes are independent. Here name and address classes are known as part class. Remember, name and address are part class, whereas person class is known as owner class. Here independent means life of an object of the part class is not determined by the owner class. So in our example, the object address is shared by two different objects, P1 and P2 of person class. So if we remove object P1 that is of owner class person, it will not remove the object address related to P1 because it is non-exclusive relationship that can prevail independently. Remember, composition is a strong type of aggregation. So here both objects P1 and P2 have separate part objects N1 and N2. So if we remove P1, then it should remove N1 also. So here you can see person P1 object related to person class. Same way there is address object related to address class. Same way N1 object is there related to name class. So P1 and address are connected using aggregation, whereas name and N1 and P1, these two are connected using composition. So this is composition type of relationship, whereas this is aggregation. Remember this N1 and address, these are known as aggregated or subject class or part class, whereas person class is known as aggregating class or owner class or whole class. So here composition represents exclusive relationship between two classes. Remember this word. Aggregation represents non-exclusive, whereas composition represents exclusive relationship. So when there is non-exclusive relationship, it means both classes are independent. So if you remove P1, then it will not remove address, but that is not in N1 and P1. So if you remove P1, then it will automatically remove N1 object related to name. It is because it is strong type of relationship. So when you delete one, it will delete another also. Composition is a strong type of aggregation. Remove this. Remember this word, where the lifetime of the part class depends on the existence of the owner class. So if an object of aggregating class is deleted, its part class object also will get deleted. For example, when an object of class person is deleted, say suppose P1, the object of class name is also deleted, say suppose N1. Name is associated exclusively with single person as given as shown between name and person, whereas address is non-exclusive because it can be shared. So this is the difference between aggregation and composition. Aggregation is non-exclusive, composition is exclusive. So the class that contains objects of other class is known as owner class or whole class or aggregating class. Remember the word aggregating class. Say suppose here person class is known as aggregating class, whereas the class that is contained in owner class. Remember this word, this sentence. The class that is contained in owner class means whose part is in another class is known as aggregated class or part class or subject class. So name and address, these two are aggregated class. Aggregation is represented using blank diamond sign, whereas composition is represented using filled diamond sign. This is the difference between aggregation and composition. Now the last topic in this chapter, that is inheritance. Inheritance is generally referred to as is a kind of relationship between two classes. See the difference between this. Aggregation and composition represents has a or a part of relationship, whereas inheritance represents is a kind of relationship. The word is a kind of relationship. It is applicable when one class is a kind of other class. One class is a kind of other class. For example, a teacher is a kind of person. So all the attributes and methods of class person are applicable to class teacher also. So assume that there are two different classes. One is person class and another is teacher class. So common attributes are defined in person class, name, address, all that. In teacher class, we can put some special attributes like subject. Now if we create inheritance between these two, then the teacher class automatically inherits all the attributes and methods of person class. That is known as inheritance. So teacher class inherits all the attributes and behavior of class person. Teacher class may also have additional attributes like subject and methods like taking lectures, etc. So say suppose there are two classes, person and address. Oh, so sorry. Person and this must be teacher. Now to establish relationship, to establish inheritance between these two, blank triangular sign is used. Remember, inheritance refers to the capability of defining a new class of objects that inherits the characteristics of another class. In object-oriented terminology, new class is called subclass or child class or derived class, whereas the existing class is called superclass or parent class or base class. So here you can see two classes are there, person class and teacher class. To display inheritance, we can use triangular sign pointing towards the person, means superclass. So here person is a superclass and teacher is subclass. The data, attributes and methods of the superclass are available to objects in the subclass without rewriting their declarations. This feature provides reusability where existing methods can be reused without redefining. So this is superclass, or you can say parent class or base class, whereas this is subclass or child class or derived class. In class diagram, inheritance is represented using an arrow pointing to superclass. So this chapter is over. Now we will discuss some question answers regarding this chapter. So Java language is based on which concept? Object oriented concept. Dash is a group of similar objects. The answer is class. Which four features must be there in an object oriented programming language? So as we have discussed earlier, the four features are data encapsulation, data abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance. Which two things are important in a software? So while designing a software, we should keep two things in mind. One is data and another is procedure. Procedure, or you can say function or method. Now in a syntax of property, what does triangular bracket mean? Remember, triangular bracket means compulsory item. And what does square bracket mean in property syntax? That is optional item. So if some option is written in between square bracket, then it is optional. Which are the visibility options? Remember, four visibility options are there: private, protected, public and package. Well, what is the full form of UML? UML means Unified Modeling Language. Which is the compulsory item in property syntax? Well, the property name, or you can say attribute name, that is compulsory. All the other items, other options are optional. Which symbol is used for package visibility? For package visibility, tilde sign is used. This sign is known as tilde sign. What is the full form of OMG? Not oh my god. Object Management Group. What does a class diagram contain? Remember, class diagram contains all the classes, relationship between classes and constraints. What is aggregation? Remember, when one class is used to create the property of another class, it is known as aggregation. Which sign is used for composition? For composition, filled diamond sign is used. Which sign is used for public visibility? For that, the sign is plus. Which is the default visibility among these four? Remember, the package visibility is default. Aggregation or composition represents what kind of relationship? As we have discussed before few minutes, it is has a or a part of relationship. You must remember has a word also. Another is a part of relationship. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism means many forms. An object contains two features. Which are they? Object contains properties and methods. For a property, you can also use word attributes, and for methods, you can also use word behavior. Which sign is used for private visibility? Well, for private visibility, minus sign is used. What is the another name for property? Attribute. And which type of language is Pascal? Well, Pascal is very old language and it is procedural or structural type of language. And what is the another name for method? Well, it is behavior. What type of relationship inheritance represents? It is a kind of relationship. Which two features are there in polymorphism? They are method overloading and operator overloading. Every property contains a value, also known as its state. Whatever written in between round brackets of a function or method is known as dash. Well, it is known as parameters, or you can say arguments. When was object-oriented concept introduced? Well, it was introduced in 1960s. Dash is a strong type of aggregation. Composition is a strong type of aggregation. Dash sign is used for inheritance. For inheritance, triangular sign is used. Another name for base class, this is regarding inheritance. So you can say superclass, or you can say parent class. Which word is used for nothing or null representation? Well, for that, the word is void. In computer languages like C, C++, Java, the word is void. Void means nothing. Function calling is also known as dash. It is known as messaging. And dash is a blueprint for all these similar objects. Well, that is class. Objects contain various properties and methods known as dash. So, in combination, properties and methods, it is known as features or members. Objects get distinguished from each other by their dash. The answer is state. State of property. Another name of child class. This is regarding inheritance. So you can say subclass or derived class also. which is which symbol is used for protected visibility. So for protected visibility, the character is hash sign. Syntax for property. Actually, this is removed from syllabus, but just for knowledge, visibility property name data type is equal to initial value. Same way, syntax for method. Visibility method name argument list colon return type. Which visibility provides the highest security level? Well, the highest security level is provided by private visibility. Which visibility provides the lowest security? Well, that is public. Public means open for all. So this chapter is over, and in the next lecture we will start chapter number 7. Thank you.